Hello, everybody, and a good day to you all. Today, I am talking about the Netflix original series Stranger Things. This show was directed by Matt and Ross Duffer, and it's also written by them as well. Now, the show is a period piece set in the 1980s in a small town in Indiana, and it's about a boy named Will Byers, played by Noah Snape. Noah Snape, who goes missing because the government have been doing experiments on humans, and they have been trying to unlock their full mental potential by help them get receive like telepathic powers, telekinetic powers, and the people who they're working on, a woman, she was pregnant at the time, and her child received telekinetic and telepathic powers. So they take the child away from the woman, convinces her that the child died, and they pretty much cast her aside, and she pretty much has a nervous breakdown and she goes insane. So they have been training this child from a baby to use her powers to really pretty much work for the government. And while her powers are growing and her telepathy is growing, she learns how to connect to other people and to other worlds. And by doing this, she connects to a monster in another world. And this monster comes back from his world to ours, and it takes a child, Will, and it starts this whole process, and it starts the whole pretty much the whole series, because you have the officer, um, Jim Harper, played by David Harbour, and he's on the case to try to find his missing child, and you have Winona Ryder, who plays Will's mother, Joyce Byers, and she's after trying to she's trying to like, maintain her sanity and still keep her hopes up when her child is missing, because everybody believes her child died, and the government even try to convince her that her child dies, but she knows that her child is alive because her child has been coming in contact with her through her lights in her house and her electronics. Now everybody else thinks she's going crazy because of the grief, but she knows what's going on. Even her son, the oldest son, um, thinks that she's his name is Jonathan Bayers, and he's played by Charlie Heaton. Even he thinks that she's going insane. But you also have Will's friends who believe that Will's still alive, and they're trying to do everything they can to find clues so they can find their friend and rescue their friend. And while they're out there doing this, they run across 11. And 11 was the little girl who the government was experimenting on, led by the person who was in charge was Dr. Martin Brenner, played by Matthew Modine. And she escapes, and she runs into these boys, and they had to learn how to pretty much work with her and accept her as part of the group so they can find and rescue their friend and to stop this monster. That's pretty much what the show is. Pretty much the series is all about. And I had to say, from the beginning episode to the last final episode, because it's only pretty much like, I think it's only 8 episodes out of the whole series. It's pretty short. I was hooked. Now it's a period piece, and it's very detail oriented. I mean, from the hair to the clothes to the bikes that they rode to the TVs to the how the set was created. I mean, you really step back in time to this era, and and if you grew up in this time, it really do transport you back to this world, how things used to be before there was the internet, before people had phones in their pocket they could carry around. I mean, before they were like remote control, you had to walk up to the TV and actually turn it by hand. That was the time. Yeah, I remember some of that stuff. So being trapped, it was just beautiful to look at. The acting from all the actors on the show was an amazing job. I mean, you got Winona Ryder, of course. She was fantastic. You had David Harbour as the chief, pretty much sheriff there. He was fantastic, and the children actors on this show were amazing. A lot of times, the children actors would do okay, but you actually want to hang around with these kids and want to go on these journey with these children, and even when they're having their rough patches, trying to deal with the fact they lost their best friend, trying to deal with the fact that a new person that's coming to their group, they're trying to understand who is a little different from them, and their ups and their downs. You actually root for them when they succeed and when they come out together, and you actually feel bad for them when they break apart. Like I said, I really did enjoy this whole show a whole lot. The story was fantastic. It was beautifully shot. The special effects were amazing, especially how the monster looked and how it's designed. And I like how they introduced the monster as well, because they didn't really show it at first, so it made your imagination like just go a little crazy. So when by the time you really did see the monster, you really was freaking out. And I also like I said, the special effects was great because there was a scene when when the kids were being chased by the government agents, and 11 used her telekinetic powers to pretty much stop a van and flipped it over. Oh my gosh, it blew my mind. I really did enjoy this show. I cannot stress how good it was enough. I said check it out for yourself. If you have Netflix, I said check it out for yourself. Don't take my word for it. Hopefully you will enjoy it and love it just as much as I did. Because this show reminded me of a lot of movies back in this time. It had a little bit of E.T., had a little bit of Stephen King's The Firestarter, and Stephen King's It. And like this, all these movies were combined together, and it's produced this show right here. And you could tell where it was influenced by these movies back in the day that I actually did enjoy, and I enjoyed this show as well. If you have seen Stranger Things, leave your comments down below. Let me know what you thought about it. Um, and if you haven't seen it, I said go check it out for yourself. Just watch the show. And the way the show ends, it might do a second season. I'm not so sure because it leaves certain things open ended. I mean, it was an ending, but it still look like there's certain things they could explore, like what happens to a child taken to another world and then brought back when they and the child almost dies, and how do they deal with being back in this regular world? And certain things that happen are not quite what they seem. I know, but I don't want to spoil anything for you because I really wanted you to watch this show. Like I said, I loved it. But don't take my word for it. I said check it out for yourself. Well, that's all I gotta say about that. So give my channel a big like, thumbs up, boom, and subscribe to my channel and share. I really would appreciate it. Like I always say, in my dreams and in real life, I am the Ninja Rabbit. Peace out, peoples.